bottom line, trying to get the United States and other countries with high carbon intensive lifestyles to make bigger cuts. And if you can accomplish that, wouldn't that be a major step forward in any case, even if it's not a perfect solution?
Well, you could say that, but the dynamic of economic development is bringing countries like China and India and South Africa and Brazil into the global development process, and they are increasing their emissions. So that in the future, if those countries and other poorer countries industrialize in a way that increases emissions, that is going to undo whatever good you do in America later on, isn't it? I mean, that would be my thinking on that. You've got to have a globally a just system. I mean, that's what has undone Copenhagen, hasn't it? As I say, the key issue here is the low-income, high-carbon lifestyle in places like USA, and I think it's important to stay with the equity principle, because what we're talking about is the management of global commons. The Earth's atmosphere regarded as a resource which we all share, and we've got to take responsibility for and protect for future generations. I mean, I may say that there's another dimension in all this, and that is that there are those who argue with some justice that that if the Earth's atmosphere belongs to anybody, it belongs to future generations. And if we're going to get down to 350, that what we have to do is put a lot of work into restoring carbon sinks, into not only protecting forests, but putting carbon into soils by organic agriculture, by a lot of work there, which will also take resources, which would take a lot of land restoration work, and all this will take resources as well. And so there's an argument that a lot of the carbon revenues that are raised in this way should go to fund those kinds of processes. And there's every reason to think that those kind of processes should happen in developing countries as well. It'd be very important for their agriculture and their prosperity that there are resources available for that as well. So there's another on funds here, and as I say, that's about the rights of future generations. So,
and that's a really important point, because all this is about really thinking in the long term rather than in the very short-termist exploitative, grabby way that the world has been run for several hundred years now, and to be aware of the kinds of long-term thinking that we are beginning to hear from some of the campesinos, for instance, in Cochabamba, who are really talking about everybody taking care and being respectful and reverential about Pachamama, as they call Mother Earth, and not behaving in this exploitative way. In fact, they would seem to go further, rather than thinking of it even as a global commons for people, whether of this generation or the future. They seem to be talking about it as this is Mother Earth, and we are merely kind of a part of all this, rather than it's there for us as a resource, whether it's some of us, or more of us, those of us in the future, whatever. They seem to start from the other end of the way of thinking altogether. So thank you very much indeed, Brian, for coming along today. It's been really helpful to clarify what is a very lateral way of thinking and a very equitable way of thinking. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and hope it goes well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.